role in the activities of an organization. Then we move to the purpose of financial management. And before we move to the purpose of financial management, I mentioned that there are some guys who make the decision, who control the financial affairs of an organization. Who are they? They are called financial managers. And these guys make decision, right? And what are the purpose? The purpose of financial management is to create a wealth for the shareholders, right? How do we create a wealth to the shareholders? When you engage in a project that is actually viable, right? And with that, as an investor, you'll be expecting something from your investment, right? So engaging in a project that is viable, it is part of maximization of what we can say. It is maximization of stakeholders' worth. Don't forget there are two in stakeholders. Stakeholders are those who have interest in what the organization is actually doing. Who are they? Shareholders are part of the stakeholders, right? Shareholders are part of what? Are part of the stakeholders. So how do we create value for them? We've explained in our previous class. The function of a financial manager: when you identify a project that is viable, right? You need, as a financial manager, you need to identify a project that is actually viable, or acquisition, merger or acquisition, right? Then after that, you need to now say, oh, how do we source for this finance? Are you going by equity or debt? We will get there. Under the concept of cost of capital, you look at it that as a financial manager, are you going by debt or equity? And you should know that when you decide when you want to go by debt, the cost of equity is usually higher than debt. We'll get there. Then after the financing decision, then dividend decision. Now, we have identified a project that is viable. We've considered the sources of finance. We've analyzed the risk of that finance. Then the project is now viable. Then you need to make a dividend decision. Dividend decision as per how dividend will be paid to the shareholders who have actually invested in the business. So we've equally explained the financial and non-financial objective, right? When you want to, how do we create a wealth for the shareholders, right? We have the financials, in the financials and non-financials. In some question, it may not be objective. It may be that you may be given maybe 2 years financials, maybe 2021, 2020 and 2021. Then for you to do a comparative analysis if the company is actually adding value or creating a value for the shareholders. Of course, you can as well use ratio. Of course, that is what we actually use in the first example, in the first illustration. In our previous lecture, I equally explained the relationship between financial management, the financial accounting, and management accounting. The financial accounting are called, those guys are called, right, financial accountants, right? They are called financial accountants. And what is their objective is that what do they do is to focus on past performance, right? As well as they make use of standard class based on historical cost concept. The management accountants, majorly internal use, focusing on predicting what the future for what for decision making, for management decision making. The financial management, the financial managers, they create the wealth for the what for the shareholders. They look at the project that is viable and advise based on that project are equally sourced for the finance. These are what we explained in the previous lecture. Now we solve an illustration to that, which is illustration 1 on objective of a financial manager. Right? Don't forget the objective of a financial manager. The objective is to create a wealth for the shareholder, creation of value for them. The question is, how can a financial manager create a value? If you make a profitability, if your profit this year is around 20 naira or 20 million, right? By next year, it should be around 50 million. So with that, we could say, oh, you are adding value, you are creating a value for the what? For the shareholders. Because the profit of the business has actually increased on year basis. In addition to that, if the company is a listed company, when I say a listed company, if you go to NGS as of today, you see the different companies that are there. See the financial institution, the likes of JITCO, see consumables, you see IT, you see a lot of companies. They are called listed company. Now, if the market price of the company is increasing on year basis, or what we call the equity market value, let me quickly use that. Equity market value is increasing on year basis. Oh, you could say, oh, this company, without a cooperative, without saying that, oh, the company, you know, every company will say, oh, we want to achieve a profit before tax of this. And when you look at it, that, oh, do we actually achieve this particular equity market value? We said we set a target. Do we actually achieve it? Or if we achieve it, it means that you are creating a value for the what? For the shareholder. Or the company may be using 2 years comparative figures, probably the previous year equity market value and the current year equity market value, to see if they are actually creating a wealth for the what? For the shareholders. Right? Now, in this example, in this illustration, we're able to solve the question up to the objective 1. For those who are just joining us for the first time, I am Ibrahim Akindele, and I will be taking you 100% of financial management. Distinguished professional colleagues, please stay with me, right, till the end of FA. You don't need textbook. You don't need to read anything. What you need to do is to follow the class. Follow the class. I will go and do the research work, right? I will go and do the research work. The questions that is examinable, I will bring it so that we will solve it together. Am I communicating, please? So for those who are just joining us, you're welcome to Next Gen Professional Associate, right? Now, in this question, we were able to say objective 1, objective 2, and objective 3. Can you see? The company wants to achieve the profit before interest and tax of 4%. The question is, did they actually achieve this objective of 4%? Did the company actually achieve it? That is the question. Did the company actually achieve the profit before interest and tax of 4%? Right? The second objective is that to achieve growth earnings per share of 3.5%. The question is, did the company actually achieve this? That is what we call that is, the company has already set a standard that this is what they want to achieve. The question now is, did they actually achieve it? If they did not achieve it, it means that they are not creating a value for the shareholders, because they say, oh, this is what they want to achieve. Did they have any increase in their earnings per share? No. Yes or no? Right? Now, objective 3, to achieve total shareholder return of 5%. The question is, did they actually meet up with the shareholders return of 5%? That is the question, of which now in our last class we were able to say, oh, the question now says, don't forget that when you see a question like this, the first thing you need to do is to read the required. It is very important. When you read the required, it is assumed that you understand the requirements, right? It is assumed that you've solved 60% of the words of the question. Now, the question says, analyze and discuss the extent to which CP has achieved each of its stated objective, right? Analyze and discuss. In this now, you cannot use ratio to do a comparative analysis. Oh, you calculate the ratio of this year and you now compare if they, no, the question has already given you what they want to achieve. Now, it's for you now to use your own discretion that, okay, what can you use? Because you can't use, what do you want to use for you to actually compare if they actually achieve the 4%. Now, when you see a question like this, you need to use trend analysis. When you use the trend analysis will now give you that, okay, is there any growth? What do we use a trend for? It is to see if there will be a growth in a particular, either the profit after tax, either equity market value, either anything that we want to calculate, right? And the question says object to achieve growth. Now, if you want to determine the growth, you need to use it for you to confirm if this objective was actually achieved, right? You need to use trend, because the question says analyze and discuss to the extent. So we need to calculate that, of which we were able to do that in our previous lecture using trend, and we also comment on it that, okay, this was achieved and this was not actually achieved. I think the last question that we're actually trying to solve before our time was the objective 3, right? The objective 3, right? Now, the objective 3 is talking about the total shareholder return, class. And don't forget, if they say shareholder return, as an equity investor, if you are investing in a shares, class, you are expecting two things. We will get there when we get to cost of capital, right? Now, you are expecting two things. You can decide to go for dividend or capital appreciation. I don't want to go deep in on that part, right? So let me just pick it. So now the total shareholder return will be your equity, the market value of the equity, right, plus the dividend. So you need to use what? Trend analysis. Now, what is trend analysis? New minus old over old. Now, 2021, 56.4 minus old, 55.2, divided by 55.2, plus the dividend of 2021 will now give you, oh, do we actually achieve the total shareholder return of 5%? You do the same thing with 2020, class. And don't forget that when you are doing a trend analysis, maybe they give you actually 3 years, class. They give you 3 years. It means that you will do a trend for 2 years, because you don't have 2018. Now, can you see 55.2 minus 54 plus the dividend, the yearly dividend, divided by the hold, we have 11.7%. And what did they want to actually achieve? The question is, they want to achieve a total shareholder return of 5%. Now, I've seen so many comments. You guys are doing well, right? I love that, because it is what I actually want to see. when we get to, are we going to do analysis? No, no analysis, right? So you can see you have 5%. Now, what is your comment? Oh, from the above analysis, TP financial objective was achieved or was not achieved. You can see that it was achieved in the years under review. 2020, you may not even use in the year under review, because what is the year? You can state it 2021 and 2020 that it was what achieved, because it is actually above the stated what objective, and that is what they say you should analyze, right? Class, am I communicating? It seems I'm the only one in this class. Chai.
Sir, you are
Yes, sir. We are
communicating.
communicating.
Yeah,
Oh,
with you.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. Financial management is actually very simple, okay? And every courses are very simple, right? It's just for you to get someone that will teach you, just follow. Like I said, I will do the research work, bring in the questions that
We are
you need to
communicating, sir.
as well. Thank you. Now, I won't explain this. The next question we need to answer. So you do your comment. For those who have actually, if you've actually paid for material, you can just do the comment there, right? And do your comment. Now, the next one is discuss. This is 9 marks. This question is adopted from ACCA and some other tests. This is 9 marks. The next question is discuss 4 ways to encourage managers to achieve stakeholder objective. Class. The question is, what are the things we need to encourage managers? Who are stakeholders? Those who have interest in what the organization is doing, right? Who are they? The shareholders. The shareholders will be expecting something from their investment, right? The financial institutions, or the creditors, or the payables, right? The suppliers. Let me call them suppliers. Those guys, they will be expecting you that come and pay what you actually purchase on credits, right? Customer will be looking at you that okay, you must give me a quality product, right? Or you reduce your price, and so on, right? These are stakeholders. Now, in order to create a wealth, in order to achieve stakeholder objective, right? In order to satisfy your stakeholders, what are the things as a company you need to do to encourage managers, those who are in day-to-day activities, those who manage the affairs of the business? What are the things? Discuss. This is 6 marks. Total marks allotted 15 marks. Now the question is, what are the things you need to do to encourage the managers? You can tell me one class. We want to try.
Managers welfare, promotion, increase
Increment
in
in
salary.
salary.
Okay. Hello, let's make use of the charts. Okay. Oh, please raise your hand, right? So I'll call name, please. Okay, Abib. Okay, right,
Okay, sir. Managers
okay,
welfare,
Joy,
like
good one. That's a
increase,
very good one.
increase in salary, promotion, stuff like
Okay,
that. Can be used to
okay.
motivate them.
Toib. Oh, that's fine. Abib, that makes sense. That makes sense. So pick them one after the other. Profit sharing in what sense? Okay. That's fine. That's fine because of our time. Okay, Babalola. Babalola, quickly.
Okay, I think one of them is increment in their salary,
Okay. That is
and
their
then
remuneration. That is their remuneration,
yes,
right?
remuneration. Then and most of the time, promotion.
Okay. Okay. There were fair
Yes,
reason.
then you
Their
should
welfare.
incentive in achieving the goal. You should set incentive.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's fine. That is performance, right?
Yes,
That is
yes,
performance.
yes,
That
yes.
is performance. That's a very good one, right? That's a very good one. Performance. You set a performance. If you achieve this, don't worry. We'll give you 10%, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Right? Another thing we need to actually talk about is a share option. If the company is a listed company, you can just say, okay, now when I say share options means that the market price, let's say, let me use the practical illustration. Let's say Jitco as of today, maybe is around 98 naira per share. That is the market price. When you go to NGS, you see it. Let me just say 98 naira per share, right? Now, the company will say, okay, instead of you buying this share at the rate of 98 naira per share, okay, buy it. Let's give you, okay, you can buy at, what we'll do is that because we want you to be part of the shareholder, okay, you can buy at 40 or at 50 naira per share. You are encouraging them, it's motivation for them to be part of the what, to be part of the what, shareholders. Class, am I communicating, please? Am I communicating, please?
Yes, you are.
Okay, that is it. So first, performance related, the welfareism of the manager is very, very important. The share options is actually very important, and some other key things that you can mention. You can also mention to reduce monitoring. When you monitor the managers too much, they may not they may not be free, right, for you to actually achieve that particular goal. For instance, now you bring in a forensic auditor, right, to come and look at the financial affairs of the company. Maybe you are bringing all this forensic auditor maybe every 2 months, monitoring the managers. It may not be actually good enough, right? Theoretically, though, because it's actually good for the company, because they need to look at, okay, what is actually going wrong, right? So, and that is, you all have actually mentioned a valid point, right? So you can use it as part of the 4 ways to encourage managers. So what I normally do is that, class, once you understand, when I can bring question like this and you look at it, okay, my boss used to say something that when the desirable is not available, the available becomes the desirable. So when you look at it, okay, they talk about stakeholder objective. Ask yourself question: what is stakeholders? Okay, stakeholders. Okay, those who have interest. Okay, one. Okay, manager, to encourage managers. Okay, we need to, what can we do in order for stakeholders to achieve? Okay, you bring in, you start to think and bring in some points, right? And that is it. So this is 15 marks, right? So class, are we good? Are we good with this
Yes, sir.
particular question? Please,
Yes.
for those that are just joining us, you can check our YouTube, check playlist, FM playlist.
Okay.
Just click FM
Okay,
playlist.
sir. Okay, sir. So, what of
Hello, sir.
community to create a corporate social responsibility?
Corporate social responsibility, does it relate to the managers? If they say managers are those
Yes.
guys that monitor the day-to-day activities of the business, right? Okay, by extension, if you bring about the question is, what is corporate social responsibility? That is
The
that.
responsibility that a company has towards the society.
Thank you. So if, okay, by extension too, we'll be adding value to them. Because by then, this thing is interrelated. Your ability, just like case study, your ability to argue your points, your ability to write with you. Who is that? Please mute your mic. Sorry. Who is that? Please mute your mic. Oh, hey. Okay. Oh, now, thank you. So, this thing is interrelated. Your ability to argue your points. Now, class, if you mention corporate social responsibility, what you are doing to the society, right? Right. You are creating a goodwill for the company. You are creating more awareness for the company. By extension, people will look at it that this company is actually doing well. This is what they do for this society. We need to patronize them. By extension, what happened there? They will increase their revenue. You are creating more goodwill for the company. You know, once they increase their revenue, the question is that revenue that they increase, share in go reach your side, ne? That is another thing. You go reach your side, ne, but that's fine. So a lot of discussion on that, right? You're actually right, but then if the company revenue increases, you can actually say, okay, you need to increase my salary. So it's part of remuneration that we actually state earlier. Do you get? Do you get? So
Yes, yes, yes. I
okay,
understand.
okay, 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 okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So okay, we have here.
Sir, excuse sir.
Okay, I'm with you, please.
Hello, sir.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
All right. Is this our first class or second? We
Second
can
class.
judge them.
Second class.
All right. Thank
Second.
you.
Second. You can just check the YouTube playlist FM. So you see it. You get. You see the first class. So this is the second class. Okay. 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 I also have another question. This question is for you. Assignment. This is 8 marks. Total marks allotted 15 marks, right? I have another question for you. This is three question three. Question three, right? Now, when you look at the question three now, the first thing you need to do is the required. Can you see? Using profitability, debt, shareholders investment ratio, discuss the performance of ABC Co over the last 2 years. So it's part of objective. Now, there's an issue like discuss the performance using profitability, debt, shareholders investment ratio. If they say investment ratio class, we all did financial reporting. If they say investment ratio are who can name invest what are the investment ratio class? What are the
Return on profit margin.
no, that is not investment ratio, sir.
Return on capital employed.
No, that is not investment ratio.
Gross profit margin.
No,
Earnings per
investment.
share.
Division
Earnings
per
per
share.
share.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you,
Debt,
thank you.
debt
Any
equity or equity ratio.
Dividend cover.
any per share. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's it. These are the investment what ratio. Just check from the question, right? You just need to check from the question which one of these investment ratio you have, right? Given to you from the financials. You can't they can't give you everything now. You just take from the financials. Which one of these investment ratio can you use? We have the earnings per share, dividend per share, there is dividend yield, right? There is earnings yield. Right? Just check from the financials. You can see that in this question now, did you see any objective? No. The objective was not even, there's no any objective that this is what they want to achieve, so that you will now see if they actually achieve that particular objective. But the question says that discuss the performance. So you need to like do a comparative analysis. The previous year, oh, I forgot to use yes, that's fine. So you need to do a comparative analysis, the current year and the previous year, to see if they actually maximize stakeholders right, by doing a comparative analysis. So the next question is explain why accounting profits may not be the best measure of a company's achievement. Of course, accounting profit is actually subjective, right? There are so many reasons, you can, based on it has a different method of depreciation. It actually is subjective, actually. So all these questions are for you. So in our next class, I'll solve question 4. right? We'll do question 4 together. I'm supposed to solve this question today, but then because of our time. So question 4, right? Question 4. Now this question 3, please. Question 2, question 3 is your assignment, please. Question 2, question 3, we'll look at it together as well. So class, look at this question very well. This question 3. Using profitability. Class, if I want to use profitability from this income statement, what is the profitability ratio? What is the formula? Okay.
That's net profit over revenue. Times 100.
Okay. That is the profit. That is the profit after tax. So that is what they say you should do using profitability. So debt. So debt from the financials given to us, which debts are we going to use? Debt. So
Long-term debt. Long-term
thank you.
debt.
Thank you. Or Gary, that is a very good one, right? So we look at other. So then shareholders investment ratio, right? So class, distinguished professional colleagues, my sincere apologies again, once again, right? So now our next class, when do we have financial management? When is our next class?
It should be Saturday.
On Saturday.
Okay. Saturday. Okay, don't worry. We'll have enough time. So we'll start early on Saturday. We'll start at 7 p.m. So I'll send it to the platform 7 p.m. so that we can use at least 3 hours. We use 1 hour for question 4. Then we'll move to working capital quickly. We don't have time. We'll move. Right. So do you have anyone that?
Sir, please, is there a timetable for this class? Because some of us are just joining.
Okay. Tolulope, please, can you resend the timetable? Tolulope, please send the timetable. Then, as well as the icon syllabus that I shared on the platform here.
Okay, please. Can I get the video of the last lecture, of the previous lecture?
Okay. You can get it on YouTube, but I will share the playlist, FM playlist. Do you get?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Let me check the chat button.
And sir, please,
I'm
is
with you.
it possible for us to get the material used? I said, is it possible for us to get the material used?
Okay. Yes.
So, because how can we?
Yes, it is actually possible, but you have to pay for it actually. Christy will send the details to the platform. So
Okay.
thank you. Any other question? Hello, class. Please, I hope you have